to my right from Ludington, Michigan, a boxing and jiu-jitsu master representing Freedom MMA. Let me hear you scream now for Richard Quijas! Referee for this bout, Justin Holton. This bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds.
All right, 3 threes. Justin Houghton in the cage. Nice cage shoes, the Jordans.
Yeah,
Jordans making
rocking
their
the Jordans. I
Jordans
like it.
in every sport now. All right, and David looking pretty confident in there with his hands.
Nice boxing stances on both sides.
I love the way Richard backed up after he shot, a little pendulum step, and that's what you want to see. Make a defensive move after you fire. David indicating that he's ready to take him down, though. And that's where you have to watch with the boxing stance. When you have that front leg so far forward, it's easy for that single leg takedown.
Quick hands. Nice 1-2 combo there.
David looking for the haymaker, switching his stance up, which adds a lot of confusion to your opponent. Oh,
what a right.
Oh. See, and that's what happens when you switch up your stance like that, and if you're comfortable doing so, your power shot is switching back and forth, so it's hard for your opponent even to know what to look at, and he's out. And so he's bitten down hard on his mouthpiece, and definitely the KO of the night so far. The doctor's working on him right now.
That's one of the risks of the sport right there. Everybody knows that coming in, though.
Well, we don't have to probably see any more tonight to find out our KO of the evening.
I don't see many more than that.
Coming by the hands of David the Slave Muscle Ratliff.
What a way to get your first win.
Yeah, exactly. He was 0-2 and comes from a wrestling background, but he got a massive KO tonight. You know, big concern from the doctors right now because he is not coming to. They're going to have to get some serious help in the ring, and I see your best friend obviously having experience in the medic field coming in.
It's one of the aspects of the sport that you really don't like to see.
No, definitely.
ASAP.
Blood coming from the mouth.
Benjamin Cummings, please come to the cage.
Of Richard Quijas, and so unconscious right now. The doctor's working on them, and again, those 4-ounce gloves can do so much damage if you know how to stand and bang. And we saw David putting a lot of body behind that shot, right on the button. And I mean, if you hit that on-off switch right in the chin, I mean, it's good night, Irene, and that's what happened to Richard Quijas. You know, trying to work on him right now. We've got to just make sure that he keeps breathing, and that's the main concern of the doctors right now. Well, again, we're watching this on CageFightingLive.com. About 21 fights on the card tonight, 7 of them title fights. You can join us also on these dates. May 21st, that's next weekend, Beatdown at the Dow, live from the Dow Center in Saginaw, Michigan. I will be there with my partner, Steve LaFreight. It's a co-promotion of the TXC and the Impact Fight League. We will be cage side for that. Also on May 21st, Genesis Fight League fight right from the Gibraltar Trade Center in Mount Clemens, Michigan. Ground and Pound Promotions, the event will be a tape delay and rebroadcast in the event in Owasso, Michigan. But don't forget, it's always great to come and see these fights live and really hear the impact of those 4-ounce gloves, as we said, and see those submissions and see the guys sweating and getting in there. It's really intense and it's really fun to be a part of the audience. But if you can't be here, check out CageFightingLive.com and they'll give you a list of all the events they will be taping. And you'll get a chance to see this from your home. You can also check them out on Facebook as well, Cage Fighting Live.
Unless you are directly related to what is going on this evening, please stay away from the cage for your safety, the safety of us.
All right, and now we're seeing Richard Quijas coming to. Did you see?
pointing.
Did you get a chance to see that replay?
Oh man, that was a straight right hand. He caught it right on the button. That's the best way to describe it.
And he leaned in with it, and that's
Power,
just it.
everything you can ask for. It's a textbook right hand.
Here it is. All right, and the great movement for both of them, and he switches up, and he just goes with a looping right hand and catches him on the buzzer. And you know what? Almost a fluke sometimes when you catch those shots. But he stepped greatly to the left, and when stepping to the left, and he threw that looping right hand, landed right on the opponent. Make sure that you look at your opponent when that happens, because you may have to look for the next shot. But obviously tonight, Ratliff didn't have to look for the next shot to come after that. Coming from a wrestling background, you want to get those big KOs sometimes under your belt so people know that you're just not looking to shoot.
Right, yeah, he looked like he might have been standing with his hand a little bit down there, and David, I don't know if he saw that or not, but he definitely capitalized on it.
Some of those wild looping shots are so difficult to have defense against. I mean, it's important for your hands to be up, but sometimes it'll elude the hand that's up even so.
Intermission at this time. Feel free. Stop over and see Vivid Inc. Title Boxing, MMA Unlimited, Screen LTD, MMA Outside. Miller Lite is pouring drinks. If you see any of these guys walking around with lanyards on, tell them thank you. They put this night on for you. TWC MMA, Total Warrior Combat, find them on Facebook. TWCZone.com, FightMichigan.com, anything and everything you need to know about MMA in the state of Michigan. Look them up. Hit them on Facebook. Click like. That's the new thing to do, Facebook. Roll it, DJ.
All right, so we're almost halfway through, Shay, and I'm here with Shay Brophy, MMA fighter. Joining me cage side, I'm Kara K.O. Rowe, and still we have 7 title fights coming up, and so far, obviously, we just saw our big KO of the night. That's where the F came in. I think we saw it for tonight, that's for sure. And at first, we saw David Ratliff, the slave muscle he calls himself, very excited about his win, and then very concerned, after seeing his opponent not get up after about 5 minutes. They're still working on him, but he's awake now and coming to, but they're just being cautious with him. So, like you said, very important to keep your hands up to make sure you can take something off those big bombs, because David Ratliff came in putting all of his body weight behind that punch, came in with a looping right hand, and they're tough to see sometimes, and having 4-ounce gloves doesn't really block too much when you have your hands up even so.
It's never really, there's no way to really make those kind of shots feel good, but you can take a little bit off them, so that doesn't happen.
All right, big cheers from the crowd.
Walking out now.
Getting a chance to see Richard Quijas. And the unfortunate thing is he can't feel bad about that, because they both, looked pretty solid standing up on their feet. And just sometimes these things happen, and you just have to bounce back, and hopefully he'll take enough time off to recover. Sometimes, unfortunately, we see guys getting back in the cage too soon, and you're either gun shy or your head hasn't completely come back. And when you have a concussion, you really got to take the time. And most sports, you're seeing that. Football, you're even seeing it in baseball. There's so many, hockey, there's so many rules now with concussions that you got to take. Look at Sidney Crosby. That was it for the Penguins, right? He got a concussion, and they said, you know what, we'll put you back in next year because we don't want you to suffer any more damage.
Yeah, he missed 3/4 of the year, didn't he?
He missed quite a bit of the year, yeah.
Not that I was too upset about that, but.
Who are you a hockey fan
I
of?
am a huge hockey fan. Me and the Red Wings.
Oh, you're tight, right?
Yes.
So that Game 7 was tough for you with San Jose.
That was a heartbreak.
But you must have been impressed that they actually made it there.
Yeah, you didn't expect them to come back and tie the series up, but after they did, you figure they're coming in with all this momentum. There's no way they're going to lose, and they had an awful first period, and it was it was hard to watch.
I saw a couple of the shots with Joe Thornton's face when the Wings were coming back. He was like, "What are we doing? Why are we doing this to ourselves?"
Joe Thornton, I'm not a big fan of that guy. No. We'll say that.
But big cross right through his face, right?
Yeah.
Well.
TXC style here.
TXC, Triple Extreme Cage Fighting, where fighters are made, not
life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone. But you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.